Alchemy was the ancients' attempt to turn base metals into gold. Equine alchemy is nature's way of finding that gold within us humans. We could all use a dose of horse wisdom, and this podcast is all about horses and what they can teach us to help us to discover and navigate our lives from that gold deep within us. I'm Lisa Morrell, founder of Equine Alchemy, and I welcome you with all of my heart. Let's see what horse wisdom has for us today. So here we are. Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa Morrell, and welcome. I welcome you all with all of my heart, and I especially welcome Sherry Salata. Hi, Sherry.
Hi.
Okay, since you're such an accomplished fabulissimo, I'm going to read your bio so that I don't miss anything.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Yes. Okay, Sherry, just bask in the wonderfulness. Sherry Salata is an author, producer, and transformational doula. I love that. She's the founder of the Support System, a global membership for women dedicated to creating real life transformation. Sherry's memoir, The Beautiful No, and Other Tales of Trials, Transcendence, and Transformation, is an Amazon Editor's Choice Best Memoir and an Apple must-listen audiobook. I could say this because I am just about finished with it, and I cannot put it down. It's lovely. Well, there's lovely and not so lovely parts of all of our journeys, right? Sherry spent 20 years in the land of Oprah, finishing that glorious run as the final executive producer of The Oprah Winfrey Show, president of Harpo Studios, and the president of OWN, as we know as the Oprah Winfrey Network, as captured in the cable hit series Season 25, Oprah Behind the Scenes. Today, Sherry is living her dreams in Chat Hills, Georgia, with her bulldogs Dolly and Buzz, and of course, Steve, the Wonder Horse. Again, welcome.
I'm so happy to be here. You know I am, Lisa. We have so much to talk about.
We do. We definitely do. Let's start first with how in the world did we ever get together? And that's going to tell people a lot about
Oh, it
what we
is.
have to talk about.
Okay, so I made I'm going to call it a soul move
Mm.
last July 1st.
Mhm.
And to a land just outside of Georgia, in the Chattahoochee Hill Country, at a place called Serenbe, which is a leading edge urban development idea.
Mhm.
And I had literally just seen the homepage of the website. I was living in Napa Valley at the time, and I said to myself, I'm supposed to live there. And in short order, I did move, and you can kind of see the forest out there
I
behind me,
see it's snow.
and
Being in
then
Arizona, I'm
part of
going.
the little hamlet over there.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's a very cool place. And they have a stable. And I was telling a friend, yeah, I'm moving there. She's like, what? And she goes, you could have horses there. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not a horse person. The last time I saw a horse, I was probably doing a trail ride in 8th grade. So I didn't grow up around it. Nobody I knew had a horse. I
Mhm.
wasn't around horses. But interestingly enough, Lisa, I would travel to another continent to see elephants and giraffes and rhinoceros, and just and whales light me up, and the beauty of sentient beings that are so large, and something about that moves me really deeply. So when this friend of mine said, you could have a horse, I go, yeah, I suppose I could. There's a stable here. And she said, you should have our horse. And I'm like, what? And
Mhm.
it turns out her daughter is an accomplished barrel racer in Texas,
Mhm.
and they had to retire their 17 and a half year old bay gelding named Steve because he has a very mild ring bone, mild arthritis. So I did. I adopted him. I had him brought from Texas to Georgia, and he and I have been falling in love ever since. And of course, that leads me slowly but surely as I was sitting in that barn every day, because I don't know how to ride. Like my lessons are all groundwork.
Mhm.
I sit in his stall after I feed him breakfast because I bring him in for his meals. Otherwise, he's out in his pasture all the time. Um, and I chitty chat with him, and I just look at him, and I like try to like arrange our heartbeats in sync,
Mm.
um, and I just had this overwhelming feeling that, oh my gosh, Steve, what if we live here forever? And I thought to myself, if we were to live here forever, maybe my contribution to this community, which is outlandishly, outrageously leading edge, could be what I know how to do, which is build things. And so I went to the woman who, the fantastic woman who's not only a resident, but she's the operations manager of the stable. Um, and I said, "What do you think?" And she goes, "That's my dream." And I said, "I think this could be the spiritual center of Serenbe, this barn, these pastures, these shamans in the
Mhm.
shape of horses." And
Mhm.
she said, "That has been my vision. I cannot believe you're here now." And so I started looking for a renowned equine life coach that we could bring in to do a residency for the very first time at this iconic barn. And that's how I found you, Lisa, as you know.
Oh, yeah, I love the story. Thank you for telling it to
Yeah,
everyone again, because that, as I said, is one of my favorite things about doing this work is how people got here.
it's magic.
And that includes all of you who are listening to this and are watching this, because it is no coincidence that you are here. That's what everyone has been telling me for the last 15 years.
Mhm.
Well, so talk a little bit for people who don't know where Serenbe is.
It's about 20 minutes outside. Well, it's 20 minutes from the airport. Let me put it that way. That's
Yeah,
really
the
what I care
best.
about. It sold me right away. Like, first of all, it's beautiful and it's
Mhm.
rural and it's 70% protected green space, which I just am crazy about. But it's 20 minutes from the busiest airport on the planet.
Mhm.
So you can get to anywhere from Atlanta. So, and then I guess maybe it's another 35, 38 minutes to the city. So it's very handy, it's very convenient, but in just minutes, you
Mhm.
are in the middle of this rural Shangri-La that is um, being developed, you know, like according to kind of spiritual principles
Mhm. Mhm.
of it's I'd like to think of it's the best of the past, front porches, community, connection. There's something to do every day of the week here to connect with neighbors and to be a part of things. And the technology, the best of the technology of the future, best of the past, best of the future kind of combined. It's pretty cool.
It's so beautiful there. How long has it been around?
20
28?
years. I think it was founded like right at 2001, 2002.
Right.
So
Okay.
maybe
Okay.
like 22 years.
Yeah.
And
Well, I've been there, and that's what was another not coincidental
yeah,
thing is when Sherry reached out to me and she says, I just moved to Serenbe. I want to talk about this thing.
okay.
And like, who would know Serenbe? Not a lot of people.
I know.
I went, oh, Serenbe.
No, I know. But Lisa, here's what I'm finding out though. People are coming from all over the world
Mm-hmm.
who are developers to learn
Mm.
how Steve Nygren, the founder, and his
Uh-huh.
family, his daughter Garni is the COO, how they did it. How did you do this? Who did you bring in? How
Mm-hmm.
did you
Mm-hmm.
design this? Because everything is very, very purposeful. And so, you know, as a producer, my eye is on the details, and the details of this amazing urban rural living experiment are really astounding. It's very cool.
Well, that just kind of leads to very organically the whole topic of where we are as a society today. We're in this rush, 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 busy, 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 not necessarily fulfilled or happy place
Right.
or healthy. And so many of us, I like you, went to a different continent to see all these animals, although I had horses. But the point I'm making is that we have it here right now, the opportunity, the everything that's available to us. And so I love that it's so near the center of an urban mecca of activity, right? Business and activity, that you don't have to go so far away. You can have it, especially the people that are the residents of Serenbe, to be able to immerse yourself in possibility
Yeah,
that's close to within yourself.
for sure. And so here's what really draws me. First of all, I learned when I was in Napa Valley that I love that rural touch.
Mhm,
I just like to be in beauty, steeped in it.
mhm.
Um, and then here, what I find so interesting is there is there's a big lean into personal development. So wellness, 20 miles of trails, that thoughtfulness about the science of being connected.
Mhm.
Um, and so I think for me, I feel like I've been on a journey of recovery since my TV producing days. That was wild, once in a lifetime, and also crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy on my nervous system. I ended up, I would say I was fairly dysregulated. And so it continues to be part of my own expansive healing journey to put myself somewhere where the air I breathe, the people I'm surrounded by, where I'm still in the conversation that matters to me. And the only conversation, Lisa, that really matters to me is about expansion. That's really it. That's really all I care about. And so to be in the middle of that and to be in this rural, foresty pastures, meadows situation, and yet you have some of the greatest artists coming here to do installations, and you have like I've been to chamber music concerts,
mhm.
like in the middle of nothing. I've been to dance, ballet out in the meadow. Um, there is a sophistication to this lifestyle here, but you're out there in your sweatshirt watching the.
Right, right. It truly embodies, and I
Yeah,
read this in your book, the word seeker.
yeah.
Seeker has been my word since I started this whole thing.
Mhm.
And I had so many marketing experts say, well, no, seeker has a certain connotation. And I'm going, yeah, those are the ones that I want to speak to.
Right. Right, right. Well, listen, I can't think of anything more fun than learning about new modalities. And oh gosh, my life is filled with sessions, and I meet, because I'm kind of hooked up. So I meet new healers, new,
Mm,
and I feel like this, Lisa, we have the opportunity. There's never been a time like there is right now in human history where, and especially for a woman in human history ever, there's never been a better time to be alive. Never. And here's why. There's enough, there's been enough spiritual information out there that's readily available where you can live on the leading edge and shift this paradigm and get to live the results,
mhm.
as opposed to doing your part, hoping that future generations down the road have more possibilities. But that's not true right now. You get to
Yes.
do it, you get to live it.
It's a sobering realization. Truly it is.
It really is.
So tell me about Steve. Now, okay,
Yeah.
we followed your recovery, your rejuvenation,
Yeah.
your rebirth. And then Steve came into your
Yes, which
life.
is still ongoing. I realize that until I draw my last breath, I'm going to be releasing, surrendering, healing,
Yes.
and dreaming up new things. So,
Mhm.
Steve, oh my
That's
God,
the horse, by the way, just for those
Steve's
of
my
you who
horse.
might have
He's
missed it.
17 and a half, right? So, we've been on this really interesting path together where he knows more about humans than I know about horses.
Mm.
And I can feel that from him, that there is he's very patient with me. You know, if you could see me trying to get that halter on him the first month, he'd be like, "Jeepers!" You know,
They try to put their head in it for you, right?
I know it was crazy. He was like, "Brother," um,
Oh.
um, but there's something that's happening between he and I, an exchange of there's a healing that's happening for both of us, where I can see him just getting more and more secure in my friendship and my companionship and my caring for him, and like he's just blooming underneath that, and like he's not going to have to go anywhere else, and um and I just delight in him, and I'm always happy to see him. And for me, well, I'm good. Of course, you're coming for our first residency here at Serenby, so you're going to have more to say about this when you see me and Steve together. But there definitely is. He is. My soul has put him right in my path as part of
Mm.
my healing journey.
Well,
Here is this big I'm looking for a man. I want to be partnered with a man. I think I'm finally ready for that soulmate. And what
yes.
comes in my path, this 1,500 pound gorgeous, like he's so stunning. I get giddy around him. I go home from the barn. I'm like, I wonder if he's thinking about me. Like I'm thinking about him. I wonder, do you think he's thinking about me? I
Oh,
wonder if I cross his mind. I
that
wonder if
is
he's like,
so
what's she doing
funny.
right now? So there is a crushy, yummy love
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
that energy of being excited. And
Mhm.
so it's almost like he's practicing with me, working on my muscles to reignite all those kinds of feelings. So I bet he is a precursor
Mm.
to big love for me for sure.
Well, you mentioned a word earlier that, and then your description of your relationship with Steve. I wonder how aware you are of this, and I think you are. When you said when you were doing the wild, crazy producer
Oh,
thing in your life, that it was quite dysregulating, or
yeah.
you were dysregulated. And then what you described with Steve is quite the opposite.
It's quite the opposite. Yeah. I mean, I feel instinctively, and this is, I've come to know a little bit more once I was hunting you down and, starting to work on these equine programs
Mhm.
um, with the barn. But I just felt compelled always to touch his heart and touch mine,
Mhm.
to, sit. I have a little camp stool, and I sit right in the opening of his stall when he's munching on hay or finishing a little breakfast or something. And I'll just be like, I'll just slow my breathing down and just
Mhm.
look to match him, and just really, really like think about my heart chakra and the energy I'm putting out. And it just feels like I gotta be clean when I'm with him.
Mhm.
I can't
Yeah.
be like feeling one way and saying something else like I've done most of my life.
Mhm.
I have to be in integrity, and I have to be clean. And
Yeah,
so my energy becomes even more important because I get instant feedback about it.
exactly. Well, I too, but I use a big bucket to sit outside of my horse's stall. But
Yeah.
one of the things that's happening is you were saying it's so good for both of us. There's so much healing going on for both of us. So I call that bidirectional healing,
Mm.
because horses as herd members, that's just how they exist. Everything is for the good, greater good of the herd. That is something that's quite different for the most part from humans.
Right.
That they're very much, it's a it's very subjective. It's not something that is a natural flow. So they do this. You said, our heartbeats and our breathing start to come together, and we're just on this cool wave. Well, that's how they exist. That is how horses exist, and they have for 55 million years.
Mm.
So what's happening is they they co-regulate each other. That means that regulation is something about creating safety within yourself.
Right.
And if you don't have someone else there to teach you how to do that, how are you going to do it? We just grow up not knowing how to do that, a lot of us. And so we just do our thing. Actually, there's a lot of, and I don't know if you know this, there's a lot of very, very successful people who've done amazing things who still don't know how to self-regulate,
Yeah.
because it's the only way that we can function, is just to get in that doing thing, because we have no relationship with how to keep ourselves safe and feel good. And
Right.
then when we meet someone like Steve, he has no other way of being. He can't go out and produce something fabulous. He can't go out and do whatever it is that we humans do.
Right.
Um, he is just, this is what we do. And so the more that co-regulation comes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, of course, your relationship with yourself first, and then
Yeah.
through the relationship with him
Yes.
becomes a whole other thing. And so can you tell me a little bit about what that's like when you know you're in that space with him?
I just had it today. Um, I have a little knee injury, but I didn't stop my lesson
Mm-hmm,
because I love being in the arena with him, and I love even when my equine trainer who works is training Steve and I, um, and helping us have this relationship
mm-hmm,
as an equine trainer. Um, I mean, I even like to watch her work with him, and I
mm-hmm,
just and so I was sitting on these stairs and we were working with Steve and he was at Liberty and it's like all of a sudden he knew it would be fun to put on a little show and he went crazy moving and running and leaping and galloping and I was just like clapping and yeah, go 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 go. And I totally knew he was doing that for my delight. Like he'd look back and be like, "Did you see that one?"
yep,
And I just was like, "That is, what a pure and lovely gift." Like it was
mm-hmm,
good for him to move. He had some energy to burn off, but he was showing off. He was showing his goods. He was
mm-hmm,
like, "Look what
mm-hmm.
I can do." And I just was in I was in total receptive mode because it's so
Right,
wondrous to watch that.
right.
Just to be like, "Ah, you're so amazing." And what's interesting, and this is just a personal note for me, is that I can just take him as he is. If he's grumpy in the morning when I go to
Mm-hmm.
get him, he's just like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "What?" Like I have to be just okay and totally not take anything personally and just go with the flow with him.
Yeah,
And like not to be like, oh, you kiss me and Winnie when I come up. You just have to be in such a state of okay, that's how you're feeling today. That's all right,
I
which
call
is
that
very
state the absence of judgment.
yes. Oh God,
And they have no idea about judgment. And when I mean, we can, and I do all the time, anthropomorphize their feelings. In fact, I love doing
yes,
that with all of my animals. But in fact, what's happening is that you and he were so connected that you were still connected, even though he was running around jumping all over the place and you were over there,
mhm,
because that's our heart's electromagnetic field. And our heart's electromagnetic field is 5,000 times greater than that of our brains.
yeah,
The Institute at Heart Math has done so much beautiful research around that.
yeah,
So our heart is about, I don't know, 3/4 of a pound, something like that. Their hearts are 8.5 pounds, somewhere around there. So can you
wow,
imagine the power, the scope of that ability to connect with our hearts. And there's some beautiful research. There's beautiful videos that will show this. And so that is actually what's happening. There
Yeah.
really is something going on.
Yeah.
And I wanted to hear you talk about what it felt like, because that's sometimes easier for people to believe that it happens than to go into some science thing. But at the same time, science supports everything that perhaps we woo-woo people
Yeah.
just feel, right?
Woo woo is science. Science is woo woo. Well, listen, that's when we get into everything quantum,
Mhm.
which is, and I get that feeling. I mean, listen, these lessons have been a revelation to me because we do have to walk through fire a little bit because I don't know. It's like all so new. I feel like I'm playing all the instruments and playing the bongos and the tuba and like, oh, and I got to hold this rope and you know I mean it's getting more and more comfortable. At the very beginning I thought my head was going to blow off my body.
Mhm.
It's just a whole new lexicon, a whole new,
Yeah.
like, what is this world?
Well,
Um,
you said something earlier that I feel like is so critical to what you're talking about now, and that is receptivity.
yeah.
You're being open to not knowing. You're
Yes.
being curious.
Hmm.
You don't have, I mean, you're taking care of yourself because this is a 1,500 pound being. That's why they're so good at teaching us about boundaries. You
Yeah.
can't just, oh, do whatever you want. No, you have to hold your own,
Right.
or they sense that very clearly.
Yeah. Yes, I call that. Was like he has some sassy mornings when I have to step up and be my lead mare self.
It's so true. And he's not judging you. You're just discerning what is required. It's about meeting the energy that's there, recognizing it and meeting it without judging it or making up stories about it.
Right.
And yeah, so he's really teaching you, and that is totally what I agree upon. Now, this upcoming thing we're going to be
Yeah.
playing together with at
Yeah.
Serenbe, you want to tell us the dates? I've got
Yeah.
little
So
maps here.
okay. So I got my little papers here. So
Yay.
came to Lisa, said, please, please, please be our first residency here at this iconic stable. I mean, it's just so beautiful.
It
Uh,
is.
and so we're going to do somatic healing with the horses
Mhm,
with renowned equine life coach Lisa
mhm,
Morel, and it's going to be Friday, February 23rd, Saturday, February 24th, and Sunday, February 25th. Um, it's going to be amazing. It really
mhm,
is going to be amazing. Um, the horses, it's groundwork. It's
mhm.
not riding. This is soul work. You don't
Yep.
have to have any horse experience, but you get to come and hang out in this amazing, amazing container. This
Yeah,
is,
it's very sacred there. I
it's
felt that when I was there, and probably even more so now.
Yeah, and we're gonna of course get this word about this 3 day retreat. This 3 day, it's not really a retreat. I know it is a retreat, but it's more like an experience, a three
Mhm,
day working experience,
mhm,
an
mhm.
emotional experience, uh, reducing stress, knowing oneself. Who knows the magic, the mystical magic that's going to
Right.
happen once you're with Lisa and our horses. Who knows? I mean, you got to leave room for that mystical magic. But you can
So
check out
true.
Serenbe if you're coming from out of town. You can check out Serenbe, and we're going to make it great. I'm helping. I'm helping the team. We're going to make it great. So every day, your snacks and your catered lunches included. We're going to do one more fancy celebratory dinner. We're going to offer a sound bath and
Mm.
a Serenbe yoga experience. And I do have the link. Should I tell you what it is?
Yes, please. And it'll be in the notes too.
It's sagehorse, SAGE horse.com/retreat.
Mhm.
And that is the link. You'll see pictures of Serenbe. You'll see pretty Lisa there. You'll learn all about the details of somatic healing with horses. I just, I feel like this is going to be empowering, emotional, so
Mhm.
much fun, expansive. I really feel like this is going to be the prime kickoff to our dreams of building an equine learning healing program um, that changes people's lives.
Absolutely. I am so honored to be a part of this, first of all. And I want to say to people, okay, this sounds scary. I don't know if I can go that deep. I don't know if I want to go that deep. I've been doing this for over 15 years, and I can tell you that your safety is my primary concern. That means around the horses. That means in any work that will be doing. And I, I, if I ever want to know what's going on, I just look at what the horses are doing, and they very much are my co-coaches. They're very much a part of what's happening, and our energy together and holding that container for you to for us to meet you where you are.
Yeah.
There's no pressure. There's no, well, we got to get this out of you. No pain, no gain. No, that is not what this is about. This is about, and that's why I want to say a little something about somatics, which is really just being in your body and listening to it, right?
Yeah.
Um, if you're in your body and you notice, this doesn't really feel very good, well, listen to that and take a moment to look around and see what's actually happening. It's about remembering that aspect of
Mhm.
yourself that we've certainly forgotten, or it's been conditioned in a certain way, or it's just not been nurtured. All of the other stuff that we have done and do, a good, bad, and the ugly, are the things we've nurtured. So this is about integration. This is about discovery, exploring, gentle, very, very gentle. And it's interesting. And I bet, Sherry, you can tell me this, that when you and Steve are together, he knows when you need gentle. And he knows when he's like, all right, step up to the plate here, kiddo. We've
Yeah.
gone through this enough times.
Yes, I think so. I think he does. I think he cat well, listen, because I've been doing this work myself for so long, I
Mhm,
come ready. I don't trail over there in a bad mood, distracted with
mhm.
other things on my mind because, I don't want our relationship to be like that. So even if I'm just getting in the car, because I usually am heading over to the barn like 7:45 in the morning, and I've already been up walking my dogs and feeding
Mhm.
them. I do that I settle into my heart, I ground myself. Um, and I would say yes. I would say he'll like give me like figure me out where am I at? And
Mhm.
like let's say if I have a little strain, this knee thing I'm going through, he's very gentle and careful. He's like,
They
oh,
are.
he's slowing his walk down. I go, I know. If you
It's
ever
so
slow down your walk,
true.
yeah, he totally knows. He knows something's afoot for sure.
And that's what I really want all of you who are listening to this or even getting excited or curious about this is that this is a gentle journey. The horses, thank gosh, it's not all just me. The horses are the ones that are bringing in that magic, who are bringing in that ability to connect with you in a different way because they're connecting to a different part of your body than you have perhaps paid attention to in a long time.
Yes,
My job and our job is to hold the space for
yes.
that.
Well, and I'm excited to tell you that Steve will be in the herd that you will be selecting from, Lisa, because I have a deep, deep feeling that he has come to me um, really to be a healer.
Uh-huh. I
Like
believe that.
we may graduate to a little trail riding, but we're not here. We're not going to be entering competitions or anything. It really
You,
is about giving him the opportunity to really become all that he's meant to be too. So I think he's going to be a powerful shaman.
Oh, I think they all are. And because Sherry, it's time for you and Steve to know that you never have to perform again.
Yes.
You,
Oh, that was good. Wait, let me take that in, Lisa. Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah.
That's right.
So you are together for a reason. You're both, okay, do I have to do something? Oh, no. Oh, but I could show up.
Yeah,
It's a whole different way of being.
right.
And that's, but within the absence of judgment. And let me tell you this, the humans are the only ones that have the judgment thing.
That's right. That's
That's
right. But I
not.
would say that I think Steve and I did have shared that wound a little bit, that
Mhm.
achievement is worthiness. And
Yes.
so I think we both get to heal that together. So it's
Yes.
really, really interesting.
Yeah. The conditional, I'm not valuable unless I deliver.
Yeah,
Right. And that is a deep, deep wound, especially for women.
especially.
And so that's why this is such important work for women, because you'll get to the root of why are you so afraid of expressing yourself truly.
Right.
And so we could just go on and on and on. I love this.
I know. It's going to be a
It's
conversation we'll continue at that weekend
mhm.
as well.
Yes, we will.
I'll be around there too, but I really hope that if anybody who's listening has any interest, go to sagehorse.com forward
Mhm,
slash retreat
mhm.
and check it out. It's gonna be a special, special launch of what promises to be, um, it's gonna be one of the best little boutique barns in the country, I think.
I'm very excited. And there's a place on the Serenbe website that you can contact if you have questions. And maybe you just want to have a conversation with me or with Sherry or with Darby to just say, well, I'm thinking this might be fun, but I just have a couple of questions. And I encourage you to honor your journey, whatever that is. And I learned a long time ago that I'm I'm too old to convince anybody. So this is really about inviting you to show up wherever you are, and
Yes,
you will be embraced with such love,
for sure.
for such love. Sherry, thank you so much.
Lisa,
I,
I'm so glad to have this time with you.
yeah, me too. Like I said, we could just go on, and I'm sure we will. It's
I'm
just
sure we will.
beginning.
It is.
All right. Is there anything else you want to share?
That's it. That
That's
is
it.
it. That is it.
So
And
again, the
we'll
dates.
have to come back and talk. So the dates are, okay, let me come back. Dun, 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 dun. It's coming up pretty quick, and there aren't a lot of spaces. So please, if you're
Mhm,
interested, save your spot right away.
mhm.
February 23rd, 24th, 25th.
25th, right.
We're looking at some, well, if you sign up, we'll send you more info because there might be
Yeah.
some other optional things on Monday.
Mhm.
But we're really looking forward to getting this first inaugural group together, and it will be small and it will be intimate and it will be life changing for sure.
Yes, as I like to say, the horse is with us.
Yes, that's a good one. That's good. That's good, Lisa.
All right. Well,
All
thank
right.
you, Sherry, and I'll speak to you soon. And thank you,
Okay.
everyone, for being here and listening. It's an honor for you to spend your time with us. All righty. Take care.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.